Hello and welcome back, learners. So, today we are going to, technically, we have completed more than a month since we started our live classes on YouTube. And in today's class, we are going to focus on, okay. In today's class, we are going to start with the topic for today is, as you all can also see in the description of this video, that is identifying and understanding different sources. So this is the third topic after we started our individual report. And what you'll have to do is these classes are structured classes wherein I am going to pick up one component, cover up all the aspect of that component, and then move on to the next component. The first component that we have started with is your individual report. The reason being, you need sufficient amount of time to finish drafting and submitting in your school, and hence I've chosen this topic, this component first in our 2026 power batch. And after individual report, after we complete everything with respect to individual report, we will be starting with your team project, and then at the end we will have your written component, that is component 1. All right, so I'm going to quickly share my screen with you, and in meanwhile, if you all can let me know in the chat if I am audible and clearly seen. Please let me know in the chat if I'm audible and seen. Yeah. Okay, I guess I am audible, and let's get started. So before I start, if I can get to know in the chat that how many of you have finished watching the previous lesson classes of every Tuesday live, and if you are new to this channel, please still let me know so I can, if this is the first time you are attending this class on YouTube, please do let me know in the chat so that I can accordingly answer your queries. Okay, please let me know in the chat quickly if you are joining this for the first time or you have, yeah, if it's you have already attended previous live. Okay, I am sharing my screen with you all now. Okay, for stop sharing, I'll just quickly cast my iPad screen on my laptop. Okay, meanwhile, just quickly let me know in the chat what are the rules that we follow to uh, complete, to write a research question. Let me share my entire screen to avoid an issue. Okay, guys, let's start with today's class. I hope you all can see my iPad screen. If yes, do let me know in the chat. And also, yeah, here we go. Identifying and understanding different types of sources. Okay, and it is your sixth class for IGCSE Global Perspective Power Batch, which happens every Tuesday. All right. Now, there are few rules that we always follow. I'll quickly go through them. If you are new, you have to follow this. If you are already attending my live sessions, you know these rules, and I suppose you have followed the same. The first rule is turn off all the distractions for next 60 minutes. Watch this class on laptop or tablet and not on phone, please, because you will end up getting distracted and you won't be able to learn a lot from this class. Ask a lot of questions, discuss, take notes, complete assignments on Google Classroom. The link for Google Classroom, you will find it in the chat, in the description below. And most importantly, specifically for those who are the members who have joined the level 2, I go through their answers specifically and I get back to you. Obviously, because right now the count is around 7-8 students in Google Classroom. So it's easy for me to do that. But once the number of learners increases, I have to fit in the work in the time limit that I have allocated for. So I will give first priority to the students who are there registered as a member. So who are basically my YouTube channel's member, and then the second priority will go to the, if time permits, I will give you the second. The next priority will go to those who all are my who all have whosoever have attended my classes. Okay. And most importantly, your consistency with your work matters a lot. Once a while you upload the assignment and then you vanish, it's not accepted. The team reviews the work and they will automatically, these are not casual YouTube videos. These are more of structured classes to get an A star. Okay, in today's class our focus will be on, so that's what you all can see on my screen. Today's learning objective is to select the best combination of sources for any global issue. That is your learning objective. Now, why this topic is of so much importance of that while selecting, that why you should be aware of which kind of sources you are selecting, because when you're, this is, since I told you, this is like the third class in our individual report series. The first class was on framing a research question. The second class was on the structure of individual report. And the third class is we are getting to the nitty-gritties of individual report now. And we are going to understand why you should be so cautious while selecting the sources for your research. And that's what will be clear today. In the extension of this, that is, this is going to be a beginner knowledge level class where you understand the concepts, that is knowledge level, and the expert level I'll be covering it up this Saturday, that is your membership exclusive, wherein I am going to cover these learning objectives, that is connect evidence from multiple sources using A star linking phrases. I'll give you ready-made template and phrases which you can use to connect the evidences from multiple sources. Second, that we'll learn this Saturday is spot bias, limitation, and perspectives in any source within seconds using a bias detection framework. Now, bias is not only helpful in your individual report and team project, you do have questions in your written component also when you have to spot bias, limitations, and perspectives. I hope I am clear until here. Now, if you want to become a member of this and you want to join the class on coming Saturday, you have to just hit this join button on the channel, which you all can see on my screen. And yeah, here it is. You will also find it somewhere near the subscribe button. And yeah, now quickly tell me in the chat, type the device you're using for this power batch, for today's class basically. All right. So for today's class, if you are using um, tablet, laptop, PC, excellent. If you're using mobile phones, please request you to switch to tablet or laptops. It is not suitable to watch classes on mobile phones. First of all, your screen is very close to your eyes. Secondly, there will be a lot of distractions. Third, it won't give you an experience of a class. Rather, it will give you an experience of just random YouTube video. So it will not be of any benefit to you all. Okay, so please do the same. Now I'm going to help you with A-Star Global Perspective Roadmap. As I have already mentioned, that these classes are structured lessons with an intention to create A-Star learners from all those learners who follow these 3 steps to the core. So these are very well thought and designed classes based on my 10 plus years of experience in Cambridge Global Perspective curriculum. The first level is your foundation level, that is Tuesday's YouTube live class. In Tuesday's class, that is today's class, we cover up, okay, yeah. In Tuesday's class, we cover all the concepts, we understand mark schemes, we break down question types, and we build academic vocabulary. This is what is the focus of every Tuesday's class. Okay. To join Tuesday's class, you have to simply hit on that subscribe button and notify button so that you get all the notification. And one small tip I would like to give you, please unsubscribe from all those channels that will kind of distract you from your A-Star level preparation for IGCSE Global Perspective, or use a YouTube account wherein you are going to use it only exclusively for education purpose. YouTube is a cluttered platform and you need to be very thoughtful of the content that you're consuming. It has its own pros and cons. So if you have a page or a YouTube account which has lot of subscribed random channels which is not related to your IGCSE prep, please unsubscribe or use a different account. Otherwise, you will, even if you get notification, along with these notification, you will get other 10 distractions. So it's the simple strategy is to cut down all the distraction. Okay, now the second step or level to my A-Star roadmap, strategically designed and structured A-Star roadmap is application. So whatever you learn in Tuesday's class, we understand the application during Saturday's members only or members exclusive YouTube live classes. Obviously, your commitment level with respect to Saturday's class goes a little higher because one, you are investing significant time in Tuesdays and Saturdays class. You are investing a part of your, I would say, you are investing some money in terms of getting membership, which is obviously a nominal amount, but yes, that shows your commitment. And what will be our focus for Saturday's class? It will be one, members exclusive classes every Saturday, full answer breakdown for all the discussions that happen on Tuesday, worksheet practice, examiner style marking discussed, and application based learning discussed to the core during our Saturdays members exclusive classes. How to join these classes? I've already told you that you will find join button just next to subscribe button. You have to hit there, and you will be able to you'll be able to join and become a member. Again, once you become a member, you'll be automatically notified by YouTube about my membership classes, and also you can view previous missed membership classes. So they are there when once you become a member. Now the third is which demands maximum level of commitment, and this is the limited cohort of student that I am going to focus personally. Literally, I'm going to handhold them to A star on or an A in global perspective. In a year, I can accommodate as of now only 30 learners, out of which around 10 are done. So we have 20 seats available, which is starting from 1st of April 2026. These are focused and rigorous batch, around 5 to 6 learners only per batch. Classes are conducted live on Google Meet. We cover your written component, individual report, and team project in A Star Legacy batch. Okay, if you are interested to complete your A Star roadmap, this is the third and the most important level. You can contact on the number given on the screen. Please prefer WhatsApping, and you will get a reward from my team about the available seats. Again, there is a small screening test we have kept so that we make sure we only enroll the committed learners. And yes, because the target is to get an A star for this cohort. Now, starting with today's class. Now, a big question that changes everything. Student A got a C, student B got an A star. I I couldn't think of any names, but yes, these are my real students. The first one student in this story is about the same child, I would say. So she came to me and she was a brilliant child. She was an A star learner in all the other subject except her individual report when she had come to me. So she showed me her individual report and she was like, okay, I'm getting an A star everywhere, but because of global perspective, my marks are going to drop. Because in my IR, my teacher is not giving me anything beyond a C grade in her individual report. Obviously, there were many other issues that we corrected. One was related to the research question. We had to revamp it completely. Then we had also corrected her structure. But one of the most neglected issue, I will call it, was sources used for the individual research report. Students generally focus on the research questions. Students know that the structure is important, but trust me, most of you, and this is out of my experience of 10 years of teaching global perspective, is we tend to neglect what kind of sources we are picking up for our individual research report, and sometimes we end up overwhelming our research paper with a lot of different reports, and sometimes we kind of use lot of reports but which are not worthy for marks. So all of these questions and concepts will be clear in today's class. Okay, so she used four sources in part A and part B. So one when she got a C grade and the next when she got an A grade. Okay. So a challenge for you all. After watching this, you have to show me what made the difference. Okay. All right, guys. Since I'm sharing my full screen, I might not be able to understanding. Okay. This is we have already focused on a lot of times. Quality and perspective diversity is what gets you higher marks. Perspective diversity not only in the research report but these things matter, but what exactly is quality and perspective diversity, that is what I will focus on. Now let's analyze one real student's example. The topic was food research question. But yes, I have given you the topic chosen for the research. Now, the student A chose Wikipedia was used for food security, BBC News was used for world hunger rising, CNN article for food crisis worsens, Oxfam website general hunger page NGO. Now, many a times learners do have a feeling that if I'm using international media websites, my sources are credible, they are worthy of getting good marks, but that's not the case. Because media again can be biased, at least in today's world. Ideally, they shouldn't be, but yes, in today's world, they can be biased. They can have their own vested interest, and they might not be a very um, credible source of information for your report. Wikipedia, a big no to go for it because it is a general overview. It doesn't give you anything in depth. See, the whole idea when you say individual research, you are talking about research, and that is what your focus should be. Your research should be well developed, and for that, you need to have very strong sources to refer to. And of course, this was a C grade report that was referred to. I have right now listed only four, but many a time students go for five, six, seven sources in one single research paper. Please don't go for it. Just choose four very strong research paper. Out of this, three research paper focusing on a very strong counterclaim. Don't choose a weak counterclaim. That will end up depreciating the quality of your individual report. Okay. So, what was the examiner's comment over here? Limited source diversity over reliance on general media sources. This is generally the remark, and most importantly, sometimes your teachers might tell you that improve your sources, or sometimes even teachers are not in the thought process of understanding what is the exact problem, because your arguments are not looking great. You are a good student, you are working hard on your project, but something's missing. So this is one of the because you are already done with your research report. So before you even start with the same, this thing should be clear in your head. All right. Now the next is student B. So State of Food Security Report 2023. It was from UN Authority. Kenya National Food Policy 2022. Government Policy, Grameen Foundation Bangladesh Community Report, Grassroots, and Dr. Sarah Ahmed's expert interview, Academic Perspective. So if you look at the diversity of the sources, it's pretty good. And if you look at the last one, it might also have very strong counterclaim. And that's the reason it is an A star source selection for your individual research report. I hope I am clear until here. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the chat. We are going to quickly discuss. I'll be taking up your question as and when it comes, and it should be relevant to. All right. So now what I want you to do is I want you to recognize the patterns that you observed in the previous two, this one and this one. And while you do that, you will also focus on geographic coverage, source types, perspective represented, and authority levels. What is your opinion? What are your observations about the same? Please let me know in the chat. Come on, I'm waiting. Coverage, source types, perspective, represent. Meanwhile, till the time you type, let's move on to the next part. Now, I'm going to give you the exact A star source strategy framework. And if you follow this pattern, at least one part of selection of sources is sorted, will be sorted. Okay. So the source type 1 should be your authority source. Now, what do you mean by the same? It is a source that establishes credible foundation for your individual research. For example, UN organization report, government statistical agencies, academic research institutions, international development organizations. These are the ones. Now, let me also tell you, while if you are a student from a A-star legacy batch, while we actually design your individual report, I want you to submit these sources in the checklist that I have provided so that I can actually review your sources before you even start writing your individual report. And this should be done max by this Saturday. I'm sure you all are watching this video and this live. So make sure you get this thing sorted by coming Saturday. All right. And for all the learners who are little confused, I will not recommend you to type your research question in the chats. You can ask for any doubts which are general, because if you end up revealing your research question in the chat, there might be plagiarism issues. So please don't type your research questions in the chat. You can give me some hints, or you can ask a general question that will help you to be guided to possible. Okay, I have also mentioned this a couple of times. A few learners did write their properly available platform, and people can read your message. One types is for authority, establishes credible foundation. Examples I have already given. So generally, one of the government websites, academic research or institution, for example, if you're referring to health, WHO could be one, or the respective .org website, not .com. So you can refer the website .org. Generally, government websites are .org websites. I hope I'm clear until here. Please let me know in the chat, and I'll reshare the screen. Okay, I have to share the entire screen only. Let's start. So the next source type is your policy. It shows understanding of formal responses. Example, government policy documents, legislative frameworks, official action plan, and international agreements. Now, in this case, you should focus on the second source will be call to action for your research question by credible authorities. Okay, here you are just collecting all the data. Here you are collecting all the call to actions at a local level, national level, global level, all three different levels, action plans, international agreements. See, while you choose sources type, don't think about 4, 5, 6. First, collect all the sources in one Excel sheet, list them down, list what you're going to, why you're going to choose those sources. Okay, let me do one thing. I'm going to upload one Excel document which I use for my A star batch in your Google Classroom so that you can refer to these Excel, the ready-made template while selecting the sources, so that it helps you shortlist very well. What are the tabs that you should look at? You should look at the source title, the link of the source, date of the source, and other information. It is a dedicated Excel sheet that you should maintain before you even finalize the top 4 sources that you're going to refer to. I hope I'm clear until here. Now, the next thing that we are going to focus on is grassroots impact understanding. Now, until now, you were looking from reports or data at government level. What is the call to action at government level? Now, here you will basically understand what is the implemented call to action. Okay, for example, government has passed one policy on food safety, but what amount or what is how well it is executed and what are the limitations, and these things you can only get to know from local NGO, from community based research, from regional case studies, and here is where you bring in your local and national perspective, because it will be limited. You will be able to get information limited to your own country's website. For example, in India, generally .in website you can say. So .com is global level, .org is for the government, .in is for India. Similarly, in your respective country, let me know in your countries in the chat and I'll be able to help you with this. You will be able to find your local and national perspective sources, which I call it grassroots, ground level impact understanding of the call to action executed or planned at a global level, and local media from affected areas. These are the examples of the research report that you're going to pick up. Source type 3. And the last source is alternative perspective, which I also called as counterclaim. And this should be very, very strong. Don't do this mistake of picking up a very basic counterclaim and then explaining, okay, no, yes, this is the reason I'm right. You are not here to prove that you are right. You are here to prove, to analyze, and to prove that you can critically think, analyze from an unbiased perspective. You should not be biased in your individual report. Obviously, you write a reflection at the end, in the last conclusion, that I have learned, but that should be a genuine learning seen while I go through your individual report. It should not be that throughout the report I'm feeling, okay, this child is supporting this part only, this side of the issue only, not this side, throughout the report. Please don't do that. In the first 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, you will only talk about your you will only be analyzing and evaluating different claims and counterclaims. One strong counterclaim and 3 claims done and dusted for your individual report. You don't need lot of counterclaims, but very strong counterclaims and claims you need. And at the end, you might end up favoring counterclaim. You never know, but that should be a genuine reflection that you write in your conclusion. Okay, so purpose here is demonstrate critical thinking ability, a very, very crucial skill in today's world, I would say. Trust me, 10 years down the line, you won't know what are the different jobs that will exist. But if you want to really thrive in your life, you should end up developing critical thinking ability. And that's the reason, personally, as an educator, I love this subject, because I strongly don't care about marks, but I definitely care about what are the skills that you end up developing after investing your time and energy in learning one specific subject. And if I say you are getting an A star in global perspective, it is because you have developed and executed those skills very well. You cannot write your answers using any other strategies except learning the skills which will be helpful in your day-to-day life as well. And most importantly, see, the rate of change in today's world is very high compared to the change that happened when 20 years ago. Because of this, 20 years or 10 years down the line, you don't even know what kind of jobs will exist, but you will be able to survive in professional world only because of your skills. Okay, so here I always say be honest to your own self. Don't get it written from anybody. Academic honesty is important, and don't care about marks. Care about your skills, because if you develop these skills, eventually marks will follow. Okay, so now in the last type of source, we are going to focus on alternative perspective, demonstrate critical thinking, that is contrasting viewpoints, industry perspectives, vested interest, bias interest, alternative solution approach, critical analysis papers. All of these things are accounted for alternative perspectives or counterclaim, which should be super strong. Okay. Now, quick quality checklist. So, before selecting any source, you are going to answer also, as I said, either you can make your own Excel sheet or you can check the Google Classroom. I will upload it after the class. The Excel sheet that you can refer to. So, okay, one more thing, guys. If you join Google Classroom, don't be a passive learner over there. If you are really wanting to get an A star, then only join it. Otherwise, I have a limit of 250 learners only in Google Classroom. If I simply keep on adding more learners who are not randomly joined and forgotten, in that case, you will end up using your phone's memory, your device's memory, and you will also using the space that some other learner might be able to use it very well. So eventually, anyways, 1 month after every month, we review the work done by and the interaction that happens on Google Classroom actively, and my team will eliminate those learners who are not active. Inactive learners will be eliminated, and so that we make space for the learners who are actually wanting to get an A star. And when I say A star, it is developing the right skills to get an A star. Okay. Now, and relevant, very important, because if you have a report which is 5 years old, it won't make any sense. As I told you, world is changing very fast. You need to be focusing on the data that is recent and relevant to your research topic. Authority, who published it? Are they credible? Can you trust them? I want you to answer this exact definition of credible in the chats, whether you're watching a recording or live. Do let me know in the chat. Does it directly address my topic? That's the relevance. What geographic or demographic coverage? Huh. What geographic or demographic coverage is there? That is the scope. Does it provide data or examples? What perspective does it represent? These things are your quality checklist. But I'm sharing my iPad screen. Can you all see it? Please let me know in the chat. All right, now the homework for today's class. That is, you remember last class I had asked you to submit one individual report. You can just open your individual report, and you can also choose your personal individual report, which can be uploaded on Google Classroom. I will choose based, as I said, first priority members, second priority. Based on the limited time that I have, I cannot go to all 250, go through all 250, but I'll make sure I'll go through all the members report, and I will give you exact feedback on the source selected using our framework. Okay. Now a quick question for all of you. From these available sources that I have shared on my screen, UNESCO Digital Education Report, India Digital Education Policy, Rural Kenya School Connectivity Survey, Wikipedia Digital Divide, New York Times Remote Learning Article, student interviews from Peru, no internet access, Microsoft Education Blog, Academic Journal Digital Inequality Research, which for topic on digital divide and impact on education. Whether you're watching live or recording, do let me know in the chat. I know this is the time when not most of my YouTube members, subscribers are active, but because of Ramadan, I had to keep it at 8 o'clock. After, that is Indian Standard Time, after Ramadan, 21st of this month, PM Indian Standard Time. Okay. Okay, I've already given the answer, but I don't want to show it to you all. Just let me know in the chat. I'm going to answer everything. I'm going to read all the comments and I'm going to answer every comment. I'm going to reply to every comment. Okay. Now, what are the next immediate steps? Open your current individual research report, list your current sources, identify missing sources type using the framework that we learned today. Replace 1 to 2 weak sources with strategic choices. Check 2 verified resources for your topic. That is your next plan. And join your Saturday's members exclusive class to cover because we are now going to understand how to integrate by focusing on these questions. Connecting evidence from multiple sources that earn maximum marks and mastering 60-second bias detection technique. This is a great analysis and evaluation section which help you jump up your grades, jump up your marks from 8 to 12 marks after Saturday's class. So if you execute it the right way. So don't forget to join at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. You will be notified if you are a member. Just keep those notification button. Just click on that notification for all the announcement on YouTube. You will get to know about it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we'll end the class for today. I hope you learned a lot. It was a short, crisp, and focused class. I'm trying to make sure that I am condensing my classes because although I say 60 minutes, like sharing the screen, which I do before the class. I would have done it, but before actually hitting on that live button, I cannot share my screen. I have to do it only during live. And that those 15 minutes go, 5 minutes or 10 minutes goes in that. Then initial 5 or 10 minutes goes in helping you understand what is your A-star roadmap. Because these are structured classes. These are not random videos on any random topic I'm just uploading on the channel. These are the classes, if you follow to the core, will definitely help you get A star. If you are following all the 3 levels, foundation, that is YouTube live Tuesday and Saturday's membership, and A star legacy batch if there is seat available. But yes, A star legacy, yes, I am going to make sure these students get an A star because I will be interacting with them 1 to 1 twice every week. So it's a lot of time investment I'm doing on those students. But yes, even if you are not in A-star legacy batch, if you apply this in your learners, you will be able to get good grades. Please feel free to put in the chat if you have any questions, and if you have any queries, please try to interact, and see you in the next. All right, learners, bye bye. See you in the next class.